Centuries ago, one of the most legendary libraries in history vanished without a trace, sparking endless questions and fascination. Imagine a place so filled with knowledge that it could have shaped entire civilizations, yet today, there's almost nothing left but stories and myths. What secrets did the Library of Alexandria hold? How could such a treasure of human wisdom disappear so completely? Stick around, because uncovering these mysteries could change how we see our past, and maybe even our future. Creation and significance of the library. The Library of Alexandria was conceived as a monumental symbol of knowledge and learning in the ancient world. It was built in the city of Alexandria, Egypt, which was founded by Alexander the Great. The idea was to create a place where scholars, thinkers, and scientists could gather to share and expand human understanding. This wasn't just a collection of books. It was an ambitious project to centralize the world's knowledge in one location, aiming to cultivate a hub of intellectual activity. The library aimed to house scrolls and manuscripts from all over the known world, representing a vast range of cultures, languages, and disciplines. Because of this, it became a beacon of multicultural exchange and curiosity, attracting scholars from across the Mediterranean and beyond. The significance of the library extended far beyond its physical collection. It symbolized the pursuit of knowledge as a universal goal, emphasizing the importance of learning for societal progress. In a time when information was painstakingly copied by hand, the library's collection was considered incredibly extensive. It was thought to have contained hundreds of thousands of scrolls, covering subjects such as mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, history, and literature. Imagine the amount of effort involved in gathering, copying, and maintaining such a collection. Its existence was a testament to the value placed on education and scientific inquiry in Hellenistic Egypt. It encouraged scholars to ask questions, develop new theories, and challenge old ideas, playing a key role in shaping the intellectual foundation for future generations. Many stories surround the library's influence on history and science. Scholars who studied there made significant discoveries that are still remembered today. For example, some of the earliest advancements in geometry and astronomy are believed to have been works that originated within its walls. The library's role in fostering collaboration among diverse scholars helped advance knowledge in ways that affected civilizations far beyond Alexandria itself. Its loss, whether through fire or neglect, symbolizes a profound break in the chain of cultural and scientific progress. The idea of a library serving as a center for global knowledge has persisted as an ideal and a symbol of intellectual unity, an aspiration that many institutions continue to pursue today. In essence, the creation of the Library of Alexandria was much more than a matter of collecting books. It was a bold statement about the potential of shared human curiosity and the importance of preserving and expanding understanding across different cultures. Its significance lies in how it reflected an early recognition of knowledge as a collective enterprise. The library is remembered not just as a place that vanished in ruins, but as a symbol of enlightenment and the enduring human desire to explore the mysteries of the universe. Its legacy inspires countless efforts to build modern libraries and knowledge hubs that aim to unite information and promote global learning. Great minds of the ancient world. Throughout history, the ancient world was home to thinkers whose ideas and discoveries laid the groundwork for countless fields of knowledge. The leaders of ancient Greece, such as Aristotle and Plato, often stand out as intellectual giants whose influence still echoes today. Aristotle, for example, was not only a philosopher, but also a scientist, examining everything from biology to politics. His method of logical reasoning, called the syllogism, helped shape the way people think about argumentation and scientific inquiry even into modern times. Across the Mediterranean, Egypt was a hub for scholars whose work impacted mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. The mathematician Euclid laid the foundation for geometry, creating textbooks that would be studied for centuries. Meanwhile, the ancient Egyptian doctors, credited with advanced understanding of anatomy and healing techniques, contributed significantly to healthcare practices. Their knowledge was so highly regarded that some ideas persisted long after the Library of Alexandria was lost. These scholars exemplified how scientific curiosity thrived amid diverse cultures of the ancient world. In more distant parts of the world, thinkers like Confucius and Laozi in China contributed philosophical ideas that shaped entire civilizations. Confucius emphasized morality, social harmony, and respect for tradition, ideas that influenced governance and personal conduct. Laozi, meanwhile, emphasized living in harmony with nature, which would inspire Taoist philosophy. These thinkers didn't just write down their insights, they also influenced the development of educational systems and government policies that persisted long after their time. Their work, like that of their Western counterparts, reflected deep curiosity about life, society, and the universe. On a broader scale, the ancient thinkers often shared a common trait: a relentless desire to understand the world around them. Whether through the development of early scientific methods, philosophical inquiry, or artistic expression, their intellectual pursuits set the stage for centuries of discovery. The figures connected to the Library of Alexandria, in particular, symbolize this quest for knowledge. Even though much of their work was lost, their ideas continue to inspire those who seek to explore human potential and understand the universe's mysteries. Partial destruction and reconstruction attempts. Over the centuries, the Library of Alexandria faced numerous calamities that chipped away at its vast collection of knowledge. Early on, fires and raids by conquerors severely damaged the library, often destroying large portions of scrolls and manuscripts. These episodes weren't isolated incidents, but repeated assaults that gradually eroded what was once one of the most spectacular repositories of human learning. From accidental fires caused by unattended lamps to deliberate destruction during wars, the library's physical structure and its priceless contents suffered repeatedly. Despite these setbacks, there were some efforts to restore and recover what could be salvaged. After major fires, scholars and historians in the surrounding regions tried to piece together fragments of lost texts by consulting surviving copies elsewhere or relying on later transcriptions. However, these efforts were often piecemeal and incomplete, leaving gaps that could never be fully filled. In some cases, minor reconstruction projects took shape. For example, authorities or wealthy patrons sponsored new libraries or archives inspired by the original vision. These modern attempts aim to revive the spirit of learning, even if they could not reproduce the grandeur of the ancient Alexandria. Throughout history, ambitious plans emerged to rebuild the library's legacy more comprehensively. Some thinkers envisioned excavating the site of the ancient library and establishing a new institution to house the recovered scrolls and manuscripts. While these projects often faced political, financial, or archaeological hurdles, they reflect a persistent desire to reconnect with the lost knowledge. In recent decades, scholars and organizations have pushed for digital reconstructions of the library's collection. Although no physical building stands today, these digital efforts aim to preserve and make accessible the ideas once stored in Alexandria, creating a virtual homage to its original spirit. In many ways, the story of partial destruction and reconstruction highlights human resilience and the deep value placed on knowledge. Every attempt to salvage or rebuild the library, whether through physical recovery, scholarly reconstruction, or digital archives, serves as a testament to the enduring desire to remember and continue the pursuit of learning. While the original library may have vanished, its influence persists, inspiring countless projects to keep the flame of knowledge alive in new forms. The catastrophic fire and loss of scrolls. The destruction of the Library of Alexandria remains one of the most tragic moments in the history of knowledge. This grand institution was not just a place where scrolls and manuscripts were stored, it symbolized humanity's quest to understand the world. Records suggest that the library housed an astonishing collection of texts, including works from ancient Greece, Egypt, Persia, and India. But despite its importance, it suffered multiple instances of damage over the centuries, especially during fires and invasions. The most devastating event, however, was a series of fires that swept through Alexandria, ultimately devastating what many considered one of the greatest centers of learning of the ancient world. The fire, known for its destructive power, likely happened during a time of political unrest or military conflict. Historical accounts vary on the details, but it's widely believed that the library's destruction was not a single event, but a series of calamities. One of these fires supposedly occurred when Julius Caesar's forces set fire to the ships in Alexandria's harbor, which spread to parts of the city, including the library. This event alone could have caused enormous damage, destroying many scrolls and manuscripts stored within. Because scrolls were made of delicate materials like papyrus, they were vulnerable to flames and smoke, making the loss both rapid and catastrophic. Over the centuries, other incidents contributed to the gradual erosion of what remained of the library's collection. Invading armies and shifting political fortunes often led to destruction or neglect of Alexandria. When a large part of the city fell into chaos or was conquered, the library's holdings were sometimes looted or abandoned, leaving many priceless texts vulnerable. The loss wasn't just of individual documents, but of entire fields of knowledge, mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, history, that had been accumulated over generations. It's believed that many priceless texts were lost forever, their contents buried in the ashes or scattered ruins. The true scale of what was lost is difficult to determine because so few original scrolls survived. The copies and translations that did exist elsewhere in the ancient world are sparse, so we can only imagine the depth of knowledge that vanished. Today, the story serves as a reminder of how fragile civilizations' cultural treasures are, especially when they are concentrated in a single location. Despite the myths and mysteries that surround the library, the devastating fires left an indelible mark, symbolizing a monumental loss of human curiosity and learning that history has never quite recovered from. What knowledge was lost forever? The destruction of the Library of Alexandria wiped out countless scrolls and manuscripts that contained both ancient wisdom and innovative ideas. Modern scholars believe that vast stores of knowledge our ancestors painstakingly compiled over centuries vanished when the library burned. Among these lost texts were detailed works on mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and engineering, fundamental fields that once laid the groundwork for scientific progress. Without access to these original sources, the trajectory of discovery in these areas was severely hampered for centuries. Imagine having a treasure trove of ancient techniques and theories, and then suddenly finding it gone, leaving only fragmented hints behind. Many texts on medicine and healing practices disappeared along with the library. This loss meant a significant setback in understanding human anatomy, diseases, and treatments. Ancient doctors and healers had developed methods that, although sometimes rudimentary, were based on centuries of experimental knowledge. When those texts were lost, the continuity of medical progress was broken. It's like losing an instruction manual for essential techniques that could have advanced surgical methods or improved public health. Based on what we know, some valuable remedies and understandings of natural remedies were also likely lost, hiding in the ashes of the library. Works on philosophy and science, which shaped the intellectual currents of their time, vanished as well. Several Greek philosophers, mathematicians, and scientists left behind writings that influenced the Renaissance and even modern thinking. Without their original texts, later generations had to rely on quotations, summaries, or translations that were often incomplete or altered. This created gaps in knowledge and sometimes caused misunderstandings or misinterpretations of ancient ideas. For example, writings that explained early theories about the nature of the universe, the principles of logic, or ethical systems were lost, narrowing the intellectual landscape available for future scholars. Finally, poetic and literary works, many of which express the cultural essence of ancient civilizations, were also swallowed by the flames. These texts not only contributed to the cultural tapestry of their time, but also provided insights into the social values, religious beliefs, and daily lives of people long gone. Their loss means that much of early human history remains shrouded in mystery, with only hints left behind in reference texts or archaeological evidence. The absence of these works leaves gaps in understanding how ancient civilizations thought, created, and viewed the world. In many ways, what was lost is more than just a collection of books. It's a piece of human memory that has been forever obscured. Theories about deliberate destruction. Throughout the centuries, many have questioned whether the destruction of the Library of Alexandria was purely accidental, or if there was intention behind it. Some theorists argue that powerful groups who controlled knowledge, religion, or politics saw the library as a threat to their authority and sought to erase its contents deliberately. During times when civilizations faced shifts in power, suppressing certain knowledge could have been a way to consolidate control, prevent insights from fueling revolutions, or keep specific ideas from spreading. For instance, with the rise of Christianity, some believe church authorities viewed the library's pagan texts and scientific studies as dangerous, leading to efforts to censor or destroy what was left. Others point to the multiple fires and destruction episodes as evidence that the library was targeted intentionally rather than simply falling victim to chaos or neglect. The burning of the library after the decree of Julius Caesar's siege in Alexandria is often cited as a conspiracy, with some suggesting that the Romans may have had motives to destroy pagan or philosophical works stored there. Later incidents, such as the decline of Alexandria's prominence and Roman priorities shifting, could have been exploited by interested parties to finally wipe out remaining collections. It's not hard to imagine that those who wanted to suppress revolutionary or unconventional ideas saw the library as a symbol they needed to eliminate. Some theories extend even further, suggesting that the library's collection contained knowledge so advanced that it threatened the established powers of the time. The idea is that certain texts might have held secret or transformative scientific knowledge, which if known widely, could undermine religious doctrines or political systems. In this light, the destruction isn't just accidental, it's a calculated effort to hide potentially disruptive truths. Conspiracy theories like this often point out that some ancient texts, supposedly stored secretly or in hidden chambers, could still have contained knowledge that might challenge modern understanding if recovered. Finally, historical rivalry and geopolitical struggles are frequently brought up to explain the deliberate destruction of the library. Alexandria was a cultural hub. Its destruction symbolized the loss of a major center of learning and influence. When entire civilizations clashed, controlling, the preservation or destruction of such knowledge became part of broader strategies for dominance. If a ruling faction saw the library as a center of opposition or differing beliefs, years of conflict might have been used as cover for planned destruction, ensuring that heirs of rival powers could not access its vast treasury of ideas. This perspective makes the destruction sound less like a tragedy of neglect and more like a calculated move in the grand chess game of history. Conspiracy to erase knowledge. Throughout history, the destruction or suppression of the Library of Alexandria has often been viewed through the lens of intentional efforts to erase certain types of knowledge. The library was renowned for its vast collection of texts from ancient civilizations, offering insights into science, philosophy, literature, and early mathematics. When it was lost, many believe it marked the beginning of a deliberate suppression of advanced knowledge, possibly orchestrated by powers seeking to control intellectual progress. Some conspiracy theories suggest that the library contained secrets that, if widely known, could have challenged existing political or religious authorities. A core idea behind these theories is that powerful groups or regimes have, at various times, systematically destroyed or hidden knowledge that might threaten their dominance. The burning of the library is often depicted as more than a simple accident or war destruction. Instead, it symbolizes a broader effort to keep certain truths out of public reach. For instance, the suppression of certain scientific discoveries or philosophical ideas during the Middle Ages is sometimes linked back to ancient knowledge supposedly protected or hidden away. The theory implies that not all texts were lost by chance, but rather that they were intentionally concealed or destroyed to maintain social order or religious orthodoxy. Examples often cited include the burning of texts in medieval Europe, which some claim was orchestrated by religious authorities opposed to scientific ideas that challenged dogma. Similar narratives argue that during periods of cultural upheaval, certain manuscripts containing advanced mathematical or astronomical information were systematically removed or destroyed. This pattern feeds into a belief that history has been manipulated to serve the interests of elites who fear losing power if the populace were to access certain truths. In this view, the library's loss was not accidental, but part of a larger conspiracy to erase knowledge that could have otherwise propelled civilization forward centuries earlier. Overall, these theories reflect a suspicion that history isn't as straightforward as it appears, and that some knowledge, potentially transformative, has been deliberately hidden away or destroyed. Whether rooted in fact or fueled by speculation, the idea persists that erasing the library's contents was more than just a tragic accident. It was a calculated move to keep humanity in the dark, safeguarding particular agendas under the guise of historical chaos. The mystery of what was lost remains a powerful symbol for those who believe that knowledge is often more protected by conspiracy than by accidental tragedy. What survived in secret archives? The archives surrounding the Library of Alexandria have long fascinated historians and scholars alike, partly because of the mystery that shrouds what might have been preserved there. Even after the library's destruction, stories persist of hidden collections that remain safe in obscured caches, secret archives kept away from the chaos of the ancient world. These concealed repositories are believed to contain texts and knowledge that would have otherwise been lost forever, preserved through cunning concealment, or by being hidden in remote locations. Some records suggest that scrolls and manuscripts, deemed dangerous or politically sensitive, were deliberately hidden away by librarians, scholars, or later custodians. These could include works that challenged dominant religious or political narratives, or that contained scientific knowledge too progressive for their time. As a result, these archives might have been stored in secret chambers, concealed compartments, or even buried beneath old monasteries or city ruins, far from the eyes of invaders or destructive fires. Over the centuries, multiple accounts speak of hidden libraries or caches that later became legendary among treasure hunters or secret societies. One widely believed example involves the idea that certain texts, possibly containing revolutionary scientific ideas, were systematically concealed to prevent them from falling into the wrong hands. For instance, manuscripts explaining advanced mathematical concepts, early ideas about democracy, or even descriptions of ancient medicines might have been protected from destruction. These texts would have been encoded or written in code, making them difficult for outsiders to find or understand without specialized knowledge. In some cases, this secrecy was intended to safeguard knowledge from religious or political regimes that sought control over intellectual thought. Today, the possibility that such secret archives still exist offers an intriguing speculation. Some archaeologists and researchers think that hidden chambers could be buried beneath modern construction sites, beneath old city foundations, or within ancient coastal caves. If any of these secret holdings do survive, they contain a treasure trove of insights into lost civilizations, scientific discoveries, or philosophical debates that shaped human history. Uncovering even fragments of these hidden texts could dramatically alter our understanding of the ancient world, revealing knowledge that was carefully concealed and preserved through the ages amidst chaos and upheaval. And so, the story of the lost Library of Alexandria reminds us of the incredible knowledge once housed in this ancient center of learning, and the tragedy of its destruction. It was a place where scholars from different parts of the world gathered to share ideas, unlock secrets of the universe, and push the limits of human understanding. Though much of what was lost remains a mystery, it sparks our curiosity and reminds us of the importance of preserving knowledge today. Thanks for joining me on this journey through history. If this story piqued your interest, make sure to stay tuned. More fascinating tales about ancient wonders, hidden mysteries, and the secrets of the past are coming your way. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop seeking knowledge. See you in the next adventure.